Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Aquarius be affected by the November 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, goodness. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Emperor, which is Aries energy, and we have the Fool. So if we have Aries within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very powerfully at our root, or if we have Aries within our lives. Then we have our inner self. We have Justice, which is Libra energy, and we have the Emperor coming through again. So again, if we have the Emperor or Libra, there we go, within our natal chart, they're going to be coming through very powerfully in our inner selves. We have our emotional self. We have the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, and we have the Four of Swords. Then we have our public arena, and we have the Empress. Oh my gosh, I love this. And we have the Six of Cups. Okay, so we have the Emperor and the Empress. So whenever we have the King and Queen from the same suit in a reading, now usually it's from the same deck, so it's not going to be as much of a soulmate connection as if it was from the same deck. But we have the Emperor and the Empress here, and we have this sense of a power and connection really coming forward during this time for us. So there's this real beauty entering into our lives. It can be a soulmate connection. It is going to be, it's going to be ushering in a soulmate into our lives. So this could be a romantic relationship. This could be a personal relationship. This could be a friendship. This could be a business relationship. I mean, whatever it is, we're going to have this soulmate connection really coming forward and to the forefront of our existence, which is actually really super exciting. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. and that's the Prince of Swords. This is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So this is at times us getting in our own way and being just a little bit hasty. This, astrologically, this time does lend us a proclivity towards being too hasty, towards really just kind of going for it and saying, whatever happens, happens. That's good at times, but it's also going to be something we need to be aware of and mindful of. We're also going to be really drawn to people who just act, who just go, who just do. We're going to think it's exciting, it's fun, and it might be, and it may very well be an excitement and a fun that we need and we want. We just don't put all our eggs in one basket kind of thing. Don't trust this person too much, because they're going to be on to the next thing. They're going to be moving forward in a different way. So just be aware of that. And then moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. And we have here clarity. This is the third eye chakra, which is awakening within us. And it's moving us in a place of clarity, in a place of understanding. There's a lot being made clear by this moon, because this moon has us so intrinsically entrenched in our emotions, in ourselves, in what we want and who we are. And we're looking at things with a powerful understanding. We're looking at things with more. And that's going to be very powerful for us. The sense of I see clearly, and I see clearly what needs to happen next, like how I need to progress. And we might be sitting here and saying, Dane, I'm not seeing everything as clearly as you say. What Spirit is really telling us is to release of a lot of the control we want to have over things, and to say, how do I move forward? Where is it that I need to be? What is it that I desire? And it can be, I desire something new. Okay, so how does that look? I desire, a sense of order or stability within my life. Well, how does that look? And it's going to be these questions and these answers and this pulling and pushing that's coming together that's really going to be quite beautiful for us. So just being aware of that is going to be a game changer, because this moon is astoundingly rare. This moon is a full moon lunar eclipse on the 19th of November in Taurus. And this eclipse is going to be the longest eclipse that we have seen in 580 years, which is absolutely, positively astounding. Everything is more intense when it comes to a lunar eclipse. So as in all full moons, we have the sun and the moon opposite each other, which brings with it relationships, which brings our relationships in focus, and brings with it the sense of making us aware of the opposite forces within our lives, our work, home, our wants, needs, where it is that we are and where it is that we want to be. And astrologically speaking, which is what we're doing during this time, during this here, we're going to be really asking ourselves, how do I move forward connected with our hearts? So we're also a lot more emotionally aware and more spiritually and personally plugged in to what we want and what we need from our lives. The lunar eclipse also represents a resetting of our emotions and a clearing away of the baggage that we've been carrying for the past 6 months, which I don't know about you, but for me, definitely this is something that is beautifully needed. The world has been tinged in just this layer of gray. Even if we're having a good time, like even if we're moving forward with an okayness around us, the world has still been tinged with this gray. And if we've fallen on hard times and things have been intense and overwhelming, it's going to be more so. So this is a time where we're looking at this gray that has been around us for quite some time, and we're releasing it. We're finding that it starts to melt away. It starts to move us forward towards something else as we are finding our footing, as we are gaining this sight, as we are gaining this beauty around us again. The full moon is in Taurus, which is the second sign in the zodiac, meaning that it's naturally linked with the second house, which represents the material world, material things, material life. We're also going to be here linked with food and our bodies and our well-being. We are being told to pay attention to the quality of things, not the quantity of things. The sun is in Scorpio, which is the 8th sign in the zodiac, and this means that it's naturally linked to the 8th house, which is the house of regeneration and death, which that can be a little bit terrifying for us. But the door to another world is opening, and we do have our hearts very strongly linked with Scorpio because we have the Queen of Cups right here, and Scorpio is a water sign energy. What we also have is we have our mind wanting to control it all. And this is going to be a time for us where if we let our hearts move forward, which is what Spirit was saying before, we can really step into the power of who we are and what we're developing. As the second house in Taurus have us focusing on the material world, the eighth house in Scorpio have us connecting with the spiritual world and the esoteric side of life. These two need to be in balance, or else we're just going to feel all out of sorts during this time. We're going to feel like we haven't landed on our feet or the place that we want to be. Taurus and the second house also have us linked with Mother Earth and what we are earning and how we are able to provide for ourselves. This could be a testy subject for a lot of us with everything that's going on. And so this can be a time where we feel just a little bit more vulnerable, but also a time where we're making some really big decisions for ourselves. Because while we have the earning side of things covered by the Taurus energy, we have the saving side of things covered by the Scorpio energy, because the eighth house is linked with banks and how we are saving once we have cared for everything. So the moon is also here squared Jupiter, which brings us hopefulness, enthusiasm, and this sense of this hopefulness and enthusiasm embracing and penetrating every aspect of our lives. Though it also amplifies our emotional response to things, so we need to be mindful of our hearts and how we are reacting. We're going to tend to either react in the extreme of I have to fix all of this, or in the extreme of I need to hibernate and I need to pull away. So we just have to be aware of this. We can also have a tendency towards moodiness, irritability, and carelessness. So just be aware of this. We are also being told to adapt an attitude of gratitude and spirituality. Materialism is going to be something very easy to fall into during this time, so we just have to be aware of that. We are also going to see our world transforming around us. So embracing that transformation and not wanting to try and stop it is also going to be very good for us. Jupiter urges us to expand our horizons and to be open-minded and be mindful of greed, because greed is going to come in during this time where we just feel like more is better, more is more, and of course I want it. Now the moon is going to be trine Pluto. This brings spiritual and emotional sensitivity, as well as enhancing and bringing forward our psychic perception and development. Now Scorpio is also ruled by Pluto and also Mars, which we have here coming through just a bit with the Emperor, this Mars energy through Aries. So we do have to be mindful of the impact that Scorpio has on us, because it's just going to be very, very strong. We will feel powerful, which makes us more emotional. Okay, we will feel powerful, but we will also be feeling things powerfully. So it makes us much more emotional about things. There's a subconscious urge for the evolution of ourselves on a spiritual level, and the empowerment of the energy of Jupiter helps us to achieve these goals and align ourselves with our karmic destiny. Our karmic destiny is going to actually be very important to us during this time. It's like we're breaking free and we're moving forward. The eclipse aspect pattern is the alignment of the Sun, the Moon, Jupiter, and Pluto, which creates a quadrilateral known as the animated figure. And just as the name suggests, it starts to bring animation into our lives. It really starts to bring things to life. This isn't necessarily going to happen easily or all at once, but it is going to bring to the surface our physical, psychic, mental, and spiritual needs, and really going to have us tapping into our imagination and our perseverance to get the job done, to move ourselves forward to the place that we need to be. We just have to be mindful that there's going to be this attitude during this time of either I'm 150% in or I'm not in at all. And that can be really frustrating because everybody has it. Just like everybody has the moodiness, the irritability, and the carelessness, we have to be mindful that everybody has a sense of either I'm all in or I'm not in at all. So that can be something very frustrating to have to deal with during this time. The fixed star Algol comes into play. Now Algol is known as the most evil star in all the heavens, which is quite a reputation to have to live up to. So just be mindful of this, that there's this malevolent energy around us during this time. This star has a tendency towards violence, towards extremes, towards misfortune, towards carelessness. So we have to just be aware of this. By keeping a high energy vibration, we can really start to align ourselves with success, but we can also have the impact of algol come over us and not rip us apart as it may do others. Now, algol can also have us lose our head about things. So we have to be mindful about this because algol represents the head in the constellation of Medusa. And Medusa was killed by Perseus cutting off her head. So we have to be mindful of just kind of going off the deep end about things and not really being aligned with where we want to be. We have to be mindful also of falling into the trap of greed that will just kind of overwhelm us. It really will. And this is a time where if we fall into that trap of greed, we will regret it. We will absolutely, positively regret it. So just being aware of this. We have very powerful energy around us. So this combative energy to algol is also the sense of I am knowing myself and I am stepping into my power. So we have the Emperor here. And the Emperor is this sense of power and determination and focus and insight and ideas. And it's a sense of I am shining brightly and nobody gets to take my birthright away from me. Part of a lot of kingdoms were built on the idea of divine right, meaning that because we were born into this certain family, we have the divine right to be above all others. And this is going to be an energy that we're embracing, not so haughtily or obnoxiously during this time, but it's a sense of I was born for a purpose and I am going to let that purpose shine within me, and I am going to let myself move forward towards something greater than I have ever imagined. We are also claiming our throne, claiming our voice, claiming what we desire, and there's a sense of somebody has to lead. Why shouldn't it be me? Why can't I lead this forward? And we might not be leading anybody, but we are leading our lives, and we're doing so with power and purpose and presence. And it brings us to this new adventure, to the sense of new beginning, to the sense of the door opening and us discovering something more within us, something more guiding us forward, this passionate sense of this is who I am and this is where I want to be for myself. We can feel foolish embracing our path, embracing why we're here on this earth, understanding our karmic destiny. It might not be what everybody else wanted it to be, or it might not be what society thinks of as successful. We're not living for anybody else. We are simply living for ourselves. So this is going to be a time where we understand that every single hero is a fool. Every single entrepreneur is a fool before they succeed. And this is going to be a time where we're coming to terms with that, and we're coming to terms with our own journey, with our own way forward. Then we have the Emperor coming into play once again. And the Emperor here within our inner selves is also the holder of justice. So the Emperor was a complete authority. The only person in medieval times, in medieval Europe, that was higher than the Emperor was the Pope, the Hierophant. So what we're actually going to see here is that Taurus is represented by the Pope and by the Hierophant. And so we have the Taurus energy of this moon being more powerful than the will of the Emperor that stands before us. So this is going to be a time where even though we have all this power, we're going to feel like some things are just fated, some things are just happening, some things are just pulling us forward in different ways. And that's because this moon is so strong. And this moon is so powerfully connected with us. We're also going to find that a lot of our reserve, a lot of the let me sit back, let me see, let me wait, let me understand, we're breaking through it. And we're saying, well, why not take action? Why not go after it? And then we have justice. We have the balancing of the scales. We have the sense of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity. We have this sense of discernment, because we're going to tend to think, oh, I have to be just to everyone and everything. And what we're going to see here, I put that card down too quickly, is that a good emperor knew when to be a bit cruel and when to be giving and loved. And so this is going to be a time where we're making harder decisions, and we're saying, to be just to myself, I might have to not be just to another person. I have to be discerning with the energy around me. And it's not being mean or angry or, spiteful or vengeful. It is simply embracing the power that we have within us and the understanding of the energy that we need around us, and also understanding that some things we need to step back from. And so as we're being just, we are also being discerning for ourselves. We're looking at the energy that we want around us and saying, no, this doesn't get to, I don't get to be led in a direction that I do not want to be a part of, and I do not want to open myself up to. And then it leads us to the Nine of Swords. So anytime that we say no, almost during this time frame, we're going to feel guilty. And Aquarius, we can tend to feel guilty. We want things to be kind. We want things to be loving. We want things to be opened. But we also need to remember ourselves. And this is going to be just a very powerful time of understanding that we will be facing nightmares. We will be facing doubts and fears and negativities and hurts and pains and disappointments. And as we do so, we're going to be looking at ourselves more and more. We're going to be looking at things that have held us back, looking at why they have held us back. And as we are looking at this, we are starting to understand ourselves. But it comes with a lot of fear. There's almost a sense of, if I achieve my dreams, if I go after what I really want, what if I fail? What if things fall apart? What if it doesn't work out the way that I wanted it to, or the way that I always dreamt it would? What happens then? And so the fear comes up, but the fear doesn't get to rule us. What we see here is the Queen of Cups comes in, and we are so deeply connected to our hearts, but also we're deeply connected to the power of this time, to the power of the Scorpio energy, to the power of our emotions raging around us, and being able to stay calm, being able to heal, being able to connect. And so as we're embracing this healing, beautiful energy, as we're embracing the power and tenacity and brilliance of ourselves, we are also finding ourselves moving forward in compassionate love for where it is that we want to be, but also who it is that we are. And that moves us to the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is the sense of, I honor the path that I have been on. I honor everything that I have been through, and I honor the power of me to move forward. We start to rest. And we realize that even when we're resting, and that's what comes through with the Nine of Swords, even when I'm resting, there are battles that I'm fighting. I'm not fully letting my soul and myself and the essence of me rejuvenate and build forward and go after what I need and what I want and what I desire from my life. And so here we rest, and we find that a part of us has been dormant for quite some time. And as we rest, we're being guarded over. As we rest, we are finding that we are able to connect with ourselves, and we're able to honor the path that we have been on, the path that we have walked, and everything that we have seen and experienced. And that leads us to the Empress in the public arena. We're going to find that there is this nurturing energy, that there is a sense of maturity to us, but there's also the sense of focus, the sense of, I'm birthing something forward into the world. It doesn't have to be a child, and it may never have been a child. But what we're going to see here is that creatively, we're bringing something into the world that is changing the game, that is moving us forward in a way that we hadn't anticipated, hadn't realized, hadn't understood, that this needed to come out of us, that this needs to be a part of us, that this needs to guide us forward. And so here in the public arena, we're actually going to find something very personal manifesting itself, very personal, opening up the doors, guiding us to a place that we need to be, that we want to be, that we desire within our lives, and that we've longed for a really long time. And this becomes a beautiful, nurturing, powerful energy within us. This becomes an energy that sustains us and pushes us forward and guides us. And it leads us to the Six of Cups. This could be a dream that we've had for a really long time. It says here, memories. But what we're also going to see is that maybe not all the best memories are coming up as we're taking this risk on ourselves, as we're fighting through a lot of the hardships and pains and disappointments that have been a part of us. So with the Six of Cups, it's the memories of the nasty words that were spoken over us when we were little and that we took them as truth. It's the memories of the blessings that were spoken of when we were little and we took them as truth. It's the memories of the heartbreaks and the pains and the disappointments, and also the blessings and the successes. And what we have to see here is, what am I focusing on the most, and what is guiding me forward, and why? We could be complimented by somebody who never complimented us or always thought poorly of us, and all of a sudden that means something. Why? What are we still carrying forward that needs to be healed? And let us not give our power to anybody else. It moves us to our Lunar message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So at our rooted self, the moon is saying a fiery climax approaches, which is very funny because the same Aries energy is coming through over the Emperor. So this is a time where if we have Aries energy around us within our chart, it's going to come out just very powerfully. And it's going to come out very powerfully even if we don't have this Aries energy around us. There is a sense of fire and determination and stubbornness and ferocity, and it moves us to wisdom. It's like as I'm embracing this ferocity, this intense side of my personality, I'm also embracing the wisdom that moves me forward and has me connecting with what I desire, want, need, welcome into my life. It brings us to our inner self, and we have the new moon, and we have gratitude. So we have the power of this full moon lasting till the new moon on the 4th of December. And what we have is a new start is coming as we are just, as we are balancing, as we are understanding. And it starts to bring us to a place of gratitude that we have tapped into this power. We need this power as we move forward, as we go after more. And it brings us then to our emotional self. And it says, believe in the impossible. It is what is beautiful. So believe in the impossible, because it's going to be hard for us, even though we have the Queen of Cups here, even though we have the impossible coming forward within our lives, even though we have the beauty and the connection to Scorpio and the sun and the power that is about us, we're going to find it very difficult to believe in the impossible, to leave the heartbreak behind, and to see the beauty within our nature, within ourselves, because here the face is made of the leaf, well, not the leaf, the stem, the eyes are the leaf, the eyebrow is also the leaf, the butterfly, the nose, and the butterfly, the mouth. So we start to see the beauty in our world. We start to see more than, oh, okay, it's just a scene from nature, but we start to see the beauty and the connection within it, the life within it. It moves us then to our public arena self, and we have that Aries energy coming through again, it's time to take action. With the new moon in Aries, this is over the Empress. So the Emperor and the Empress really are coming together during this time. This could also be a time of tremendous passion. This could be a time of tremendous creativity. We can see our sensual selves, spike. We can see our, tenacity really moving us forward. We can become very much a go-getter, but we can also become very sensual and in tune with our bodies and what we want and how we're moving forward in our lives and how we're connecting with the world around us. And it also moves us into fear. It's like, what if everything falls apart? And there's a sense of, how do I embrace being this murder of crows flying around, being free and being creative and being, more than what I had expected? Or am I going to stay in fear, stay huddled away, stay, bogged down and never let to come forward? It brings us to our subconscious lunar message, which is the full moon eclipse, which is exactly what this time is. And it brings us to patience. So conclusions are within reach. Have patience, because there is beauty here that we might very easily overlook. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's the moon. Be mindful of the power that this moon has over us. This is also Pisces energy, but we also need to be mindful of fears, of the subconscious and conscious self not coming together, like almost being separate entities and feeling like we're being pulled into very distinct and very opposite directions. We also need to be mindful of fear mongers during this time, people who really feed the fear and like to see other people afraid, or just have their fear being so overpowering that it makes other people afraid. It moves us then to our subconscious chakra energy, which is angels and masters. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is our angels and divinity really watching over us, guiding us, connecting with us. It moves us to our subconscious rooted energy, which is the chariot, Cancer energy, saying connect with your heart. You will be surprised where it takes you. Our subconscious inner self is the devil, Capricorn energy. Now, if we're born on the cusp with Capricorn, this part of our personality can be coming through very powerfully. Like everything needs to be planned out, everything needs to be seen and understood. But we're also going to see here a lot of things that we were chained to that were negative, a lot of negative habits that we have, a lot of addictions that we've had are coming to the surface, and we're looking at them and saying, I don't want you in my life anymore. We're looking at what has kept us small, what has kept us quiet, what has made us try to be invisible, and we're saying, I don't want you in my life anymore. I'm embracing me, and I'm not embracing trying to live for anybody else. It brings us then to our subconscious emotional self, which is the Two of Swords. We start to see a new road evolving within us. We start to see a new way moving forward. We always thought it was left or it was right. It was one road or the other, one sword or the other. But what we're going to see here is that new options really start to open up in our world, really start to guide us forward. And it's like, well, why not? Why not go after something that seemed unobtainable before, but now is a part of me? Why not take the roads that are less traveled? Why not embrace the adventure? It brings us to our subconscious public arena self, and that's the Queen of Wands. Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It is the fire within us shining bright. It is our sister energy of Leo coming forward and saying, be bold and be tenacious. It can also annoy us in only the way that sisters can. So here we have the love and we have the aggravation coming forward from that sister energy, as sisters do. And we find ourselves embracing our passion, embracing what we desire, embracing what we need, and embracing who we are, and shining brighter because of it. And it's letting our passion walk forward within us. All right. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this full moon eclipse. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius, and may you have a blessed moon.